Okay, thank you. Well, hello everyone. Good to see you again. Thank you for coming. We are here at Way Mountain Temple, and tonight we are continuing to discuss and study Master YongHua's Chan teachings. His Chan teachings are very sound, very solid, creates a very solid foundation for Chan practices. Not only that, his teachings also give us the seeds of wisdom. So overall, his Chan teaching is very, very sound, very effective, and it's actually is a big blessings for us to be able to have this. I remember when I first started, my master died already. When I first started, of course, my level was too low, and he was too sick. So I didn't deserve to receive personal instructions from him, nor could he muster the strength to give it to me. And so all I had was the translation of his Chan teachings. I had about 40 cassette tapes that I played over and over again over the period of, maybe 10 years or so. That's all I learned. Okay, and because when I tried to get some answers or some instructions from his disciples who were supposed to teach me, I couldn't really get answers. So then I started looking for another good knowing advisor. We are entitled to look for a good knowing advisor. That's our Dharma. You are always encouraged to find a better teacher. Okay, because I know for sure I'm not a good teacher. So I'm still learning. There's a lot for me to learn. There's a lot of good teachers out there. And so we are all entitled to look for good teachers. I did that after he died. And I didn't have any instructions, so I started looking for teachers everywhere. And with my hands out, please teach me. And I couldn't find any. So what I ended up doing is that, either I have a choice to return to a lay life, which then means that to admit defeat, failure. That is, I gave up a lot of things to become a monk, and then end up being an abject monk failure, and return to lay life with the same person as before, not knowing much, not having improved at all. So I said, no, that's not a good option. So let me continue. So what did I have to continue with? All I had was his teachings, the instructions of his teachings from Chinese into English, because my Chinese was not good enough. It's still not as good enough. And so that's it. And over the years, I looked out, and a lot of good things, strange things happened that led me to this point here. And looking back, I realized that the foundation I had was his teachings. That's it. So that's why I'm giving to you, I'm sharing with you. His teaching is a very, very profound foundation. We're very fortunate. So it is a big blessing, trust me, to be able to investigate and study his teachings. When I started, I didn't have these translations you have right now. So I had some very old cassette tapes, and my cassette player is at the time cost $125. That's more or less the top of the line, unless you go to a fancy tape deck, which I bought later. But that's all you have. And so a lot of the Chinese I heard was not that clear, nor could I understand the Chinese that much. I used to be able to look up each Chinese characters. That's all I had, okay? And you know, if you understand Chinese, Chinese is rarely one character, usually a pair of characters, or two characters, or three or four, okay? Never, rarely a single, but that's all I had. So I had to look at something, oh, I don't understand this character, so I look it up, and then the next one, so your guess is good as mine. So anyway, that's all I had. But luckily, the foundation was there. His foundation, his teaching was there. All right. Any questions or comments? Okay. What is it? Ulambana is what month? A couple of months, right? August? Oh, okay. Yeah. When Ulambana time comes around, remind me why. I just thought of it tonight, and I want to save something for Ulambana. So why is that Mahayana teaches gratitude? Don't ask me now, okay? Someone reminds me the night before, because I will not remember. So I have to go back to tonight and say, oh, that's what I thought of. Yes, sir, 3. Questions or comments?
Thank you, Master. I thought you might be having Ulambana come to mind because you were out of toothpaste.
You bet.
I heard from the Sangha that Ulambana Day is considered toothpaste day.
And toothbrushes, yes.
And toothbrushes.
Yeah. Exactly, absolutely. Every year at the City 10,000 Buddhas, we get toothpaste and toothbrushes on Ulambana. It's still like roomfuls of them. Yes, JC?
Thank you, Master.
She's still alive, oh my God.
Yes.
Your last day?
Yes, it's my last day. Can I stop?
Can you what?
Can I stop fasting now?
This is your very last day, right?
Yes, it's my 13th.
How many more hours do you have?
8.5.
8.5?
Yeah.
You sure you want to stop? It's so close. Okay, you can stop. You suffered enough. It's good for you. I'm glad you're still alive.
I'm glad too.
Look at her. I'm glad too. You sound so excited. Okay, you can stop. Okay.
Master.
All right, good luck. Hope you survive for 8 more hours.
All right.
Okay, what about the lady in the back? She looks so miserable too. Look at her. She sits in the corner so that if she falls, she at least has 2 sides where she can fall back on.
저는 13일까지 하면은 7월 1일
They have no chi at all.
까지 하는데 괜찮을까요? 내일까지 하고 그만둬도 괜찮을까요? 13일까지 해도 될까요? 네, 내일이 13일인데 내일까지 해도 괜찮을까요? 아니면 그만두는 게 좋을까요?
상호스님 지금 통역하실 수 있어요? 안 들립니다.
내일 오후 12시가 되면은 13일을 마치는데 그때까지만 하는 게 좋을까요?
세라님 할 것 같아요.
Master, tomorrow, 12 p.m., will be my 13th day of fasting. Should I just stop there? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can stop there. You did well. That's the first time too, right? That's impressive. You did very well. I'm satisfied. You suffered enough. Okay, anyone has any questions? Yeah? Yeah, Korean culture is kind of fascinating. Over there, people are so tough. They can take it. Over here, in general, Koreans are weak. Like not even half of the tenacity of the Koreans over back in Korea. You see how blessed we are. We don't face many challenges and tough competition here compared to Korea. It's interesting. All right. DTT. Questions, comments? Okay, if you have no questions and comments, we can continue. Where?
Okay.
How come there's no? Oh, okay. Go ahead, DTT. How come there's nothing that says DTT has a question?
DTT, we cannot hear your audience's voice.
몇 번 들어주세요. 안 보여요. 7번. 오케이, 말해주세요.
마스터, 감사합니다. 저는 지금 단식 중인데 단식을 지금 3번째인데요. 이분이 좀 특히 힘든데 약사주나 약사열의 연불을 지금 계속 하고 싶은데 그 약사열의 연불과 약사주의 그 차이점을 좀 알고 싶어서 질문드리고 싶습니다.
Master, this is my third time fasting, and especially this time, it's very difficult. So I'm reciting Medicine Master Buddha's mantra and Medicine Master Buddha's name. What's the difference between them?
There's no real difference. If you are pressed for time, then recite the Buddha's name. If you have a chance, then recite the mantra. The mantra recitation requires, is more demanding somewhat because you need to be vegetarian, avoid the 5 pungent plants. Okay, so that's about it. But otherwise, it's the same thing. All right, so what's happening? How many days are you going for?
지금 5일째인데요. 9일까지 할 지금 예정입니다.
Today is fifth day, and I'm going to do 9-day fasting.
9 days, oh wow. Halfway already, and you're struggling? Okay, you can do 9 days, it's not a problem. Okay, maybe because you enjoy spending time with your family too much, that's why now you're suffering. Okay, hang in there, okay? You'll be fine. There's no problems. Okay, anyone else? Okay, let's roll the tapes.
师傅姓张，这个徒弟也姓张；师傅姓李，徒弟也姓李；师傅姓王，徒弟也姓王。
If master's surname is Zhang, disciple's surname is Zhang as well. If master's surname is Li, the disciple's surname is Li.
师傅姓什么，徒弟跟着姓什么。
If the master's surname is Wang, the disciple's surname is Wang too. Whatever the master's surname is, the disciple would follow suit.
因为一定要有个师傅才可以做出家，才可以有人给你证明你是出家受戒。
That was because one must have a master in order to leave the home life, to verify that you left the home life and received precepts.
但是还都没离开呀自己这个本性。当时就是这位道安法师这提倡，说我们人。
But they did not leave their surname. At that time, Dharma Master Daoan advocated.
人呢不应该跟着师父姓，应该跟着佛姓。
We should not follow our master's surname. We should follow the Buddha's surname.
佛姓释迦，我们出家人都应该姓释迦，姓释。
The Buddha's last name was Shakya, so all of us left-home people should have the surname Shakya, she.
本来是释迦，这都说姓释，就这一个释字。当时他说这个提议这么样子做了，没有人相信，这是胡闹。
Originally, it was Shakya. Thus, he said she. At the time when he proposed this, nobody believed in him. They said it was nonsense.
可以，我们怎么可以跟着释迦牟尼佛姓呢？跟着师父姓，这是应该的。
How could we follow the surname of Shakyamuni Buddha? Excuse me. How could we follow the surname of Shakyamuni Buddha? We ought to follow our master's surname.
不应该有自己那个姓的，就这么传来传去，当时有这个几十年的时间呢，也没有通行。
We shouldn't have our own surname. The proposal was passed around for several decades, but didn't go through.
赶以后，这个在印度又传过来一部经典，这一部经典叫《增一恶含经》。
Later, there was another sutra that came from India. This sutra was called the Ekotarika Agama.
增一恶含果经，然后这上他就说了。 说八河入海，不成为河。
The Ekotarika Agama states, when 8 or 4 rivers enter the ocean, they are no longer rivers, they are the ocean.
都成海了，8个河到那个水到大海里的水都不成这河了。 都成海了。
When the water of the 8 or 4 rivers entered the ocean, the water was no longer river water, but ocean water.
八河入海，不成为河。四姓出家，做沙门，同成10种。
When 8 or 4 rivers enter the ocean, they are no longer rivers. When the 4 surnames leave the home life to be Shramanas, they are called Shakya.
四姓就是印度有4种的姓呢，刹帝利、婆罗门旃陀罗，还有那个做商人的那种的4姓。这4姓出家。
The 4 surnames refers to the 4 surnames in India: Kshatriyas, Brahmins, Shudras, and business people, Vaishyas.
统统都姓石，统称石种。
When the 4 surnames leave the home life, their surnames are all Shi. They are called Shakya.
所以由这个呢，这个证明这个道安法师这种见解和这经上所说的道理是一样的。
This proved Dharma Master Dao An's view was the same as the principle described in the sutra.
由此之后呢，这个所有的出家的比丘啊，都是姓石了，所以说石道安，弥天石道安。
After that, all bhikshu have the surname Shi. So, Shi Dao An, whole sky Shi Dao An.
那么他以前呢，有的称竺道，在一般人说这是2个，其实不是，就是这一个。
Before, he was called Zhu Dao An. Some people say that's 2 people. In fact, it was 1 person.
因为前边他说是竺道安，以后有这个石道安，不是一个。
In the past, he was called Zhu Dao An. Later, he was called Shi Dao An. That's 1 person.
在这个道安
Okay,
法
let's
师
stop.
呢，他有个徒弟。
Okay, let's go back to his teachings here. So in this section here, it's kind of interesting. Master Shewa has brought up this convention of why nowadays left home people are called Shakya or Shi in Chinese. It's because that was a practice that was advocated by Master Dao An. So Master Dao An had wisdom, and so it's impressive. I didn't know this tradition dates back to his time, and he has a foresight, he has a wisdom to recommend it, even though at the time they probably made fun of him and said, "No, your proposal is nonsense." So in the past, the monks' only names was that they get the Dharma name and they kept their family's name. And Master Dao An says that's incorrect. We should follow the Buddha's surname, which is Shakya. So this is because all of us are disciples of the Buddha. We are part of the Shakya clan, the Shakya family, all of us, not just Mahayana, but also Hinayana and Tibetan, or even some people prefer to be called Theravada, or whatever they want to call themselves. We are all part of the same family, that is the disciples of the Buddha. So therefore, we all have a surname of Shakya. So that I didn't know. That was the tradition that was advocated by Master Dao An. Eventually, we're not sure. He didn't explain. Master Xinhua did not explain why it caught on. Okay, it's kind of somehow over time it caught on. It started to make sense to the later generations, and And of course, it's a populist move to say that we should be grateful to our teachers, our masters. Therefore, we should take on the master's surname, which appeals to more people because it's loyalty to your master. But that shows lack of understanding of where the teaching comes from. Actually, we're following the Buddha's teachings. Our masters basically are certifiers. They are assistants, teachers. They're not true teachers. Okay, the fundamental teacher is Shakyamuni Buddha, and also so it's funny that it finally caught on, but also it reminds me in Vietnam, in a Vietnamese Buddhist tradition, they have a Shakya last name as well, Thich, okay? But for the women, for the nuns, they added another Shakya female Dharma master. So, and I believe that's the only tradition that would tag on a female to differentiate the nuns from the monks. So in Vietnamese, you have Thich, which is Shakya, YongHua, okay? That's for monk. Whereas for the nuns would be Thich Shakya Nữ, which is Nữ in Chinese, which is female, YongHua. So if I have a counterpart, she would be called in Vietnamese Shakya female YongHua, and you will, okay? And so I was fully ordained by my Vietnamese master. I got my precepts, novice precepts from my Master YongHua, but the full ordination happened due to the Vietnamese tradition, to which I'm grateful. But so I'm sort of torn for a while. Should I follow the same tradition to show gratitude? That is, the female side, the nuns should be called Nữ and so forth. And I decided not to. And I think the Vietnamese monks and nuns are not happy about that. I don't care. Okay, so but again, if you're my disciples in Vietnamese, you wish to call yourself a Shakya and a female, whatever, be my guest. What's in a name anyway? Okay, but what's my rationale? My rationale is that there's no precedent in the Chinese system where all the Asian Buddhist traditions, Mahayana Buddhist traditions, originated from a Chinese Mahayana. Okay, and that's the most profound, the most complete Mahayana. All right, and so they have more wisdom than us. If they, we should follow. The attitude is we should follow the wise and the sages first, until we become sages and become wise ourselves. Then we can decide to improve on it, okay? I haven't surpassed the sages, Chinese sages, so I'm not going to change it, okay, until I'm saying, Chinese sages are sort of not quite there. Then we should improve upon this, okay? So I don't see no reason that to change it, because I haven't attained the wisdom of a great master, for example, Huineng, okay? If later teachers like Master YongHua, for example, and he never adopted this tradition of adding a nữ or female into the names of the nuns. Therefore, I'm not going to do it, okay? Out of respect and gratitude for them. Okay. Point number 2. What happens After you become enlightened as a monk or nun, there's no more discrimination about genders. Okay? When you are confused, there's a man versus a woman distinction. After you become enlightened, there's only one gender called enlightened unisex. And it includes LGBTQ, includes whatever you name it, okay? It's all one family. It's only no more discrimination about your sexual preferences or anything. So why do we have to worry about it? Why do you have to worry about it? So what happens if you adopt like the Shakya female or something, and after you become enlightened, your master certifies you, and then what happens? You become a man, and you drop the name, or what? You don't dare drop the name, because then you become a man, a monk. You see? So the discrimination to me doesn't make sense. All right, just my humble opinion, but your generation, you feel free to do whatever. And some of my disciples, they call themselves Nu when they address the Vietnamese. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. That's in a name anyway. Okay? And so he says, after, going back to Master YongHua's point here, so on slide 234, it took about several decades, okay, before Master Taoan's vision was adopted. And then Master YongHua cited another sutra in the Agama store, which is the first Buddhist teachings from the Buddha, who says that when the rivers enter the ocean, the water is the water of the ocean, is no longer the water of the river. Okay, the water takes on the characteristics of the ocean, and therefore you can hardly call it river water anymore. So similarly, when you become left home people, then you become the disciples of the fundamental teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. All right? And back then in India, I'm on slide 239, back then in India there were 4 classes: the warrior class, Kshatriyas, the religious class, the Brahmins, and the Shudras are the undesirables, they're rejected, and there's some merchant class, Vaishyayas. And so back then, even in India, they struggle with it. The Buddha allowed some of his disciples to leave the home life. Some of them actually belong to the Shudras, the undesirables, the servants, and the lowly of the lowliest of the lowly, the poorest of the poor. And they're detestable. They are to be avoided contact. They have their own, and they walk on the street. They have their own path, okay? You don't share the same path with them. And so some of them some of the monks or nuns were from that class. And after they became fully ordained by the Buddha, they took on the last name Shakya as well. Okay, so India, within the Buddhist system, that was the case already. So the Buddha set the standards. So Master Taoan basically followed the Buddha's lead. Okay? But sometimes you do the right things. You don't have to worry about getting others' approval. It doesn't matter if they approve of you or not. Who cares? They're confused. You don't need confused people's approval. Excuse me. So that's what Master YongHua said. Any questions or comments about this? I didn't realize it. It's kind of interesting. Yes, sir. 3.
Thank you, Master. I'm not sure which slide it is, but Great Master YongHua explains, and I'm not sure which it is. Is it Shakya or Shi, which means whole sky?
That's from the other anecdote where he outsmarted the hermit. Mm-hmm.
The cavity of the 4 seas.
Cavity of the 4 seas?
The tooth chiseler.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's why he's more referring to this shu here. Shu, Shakya. Whole sky doesn't matter.
So Shakya from Shakyamuni Buddha means whole sky?
No, the whole sky is the nickname or the I don't know, the title that he would like people to remember him as. Filling the heavens. My name fills the heavens. My name is everywhere in the heavens. And whether the hermit's name is only everywhere in the 4 seas, not on the land. We're only a low level. Over there, up there in the heavens, they all know about Tao An, Master Tao An. Okay? So that's a joke that Master Tao An was saying to outsmart the hermit. Okay? Does it help?
Actually, yes. Thank you, Master. It kind of reminds me of the game we would play on the playground, where paper covers rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty ingenious way to start a debate.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So we're back on slide 245. Let's continue.
Dharma Master Dao An had a disciple, Shi Fa Yu. Fa Yu was Dao An's disciple. Fa Yu used to do everything. There was nothing he wouldn't do.
喝酒啊，吃肉啊，什么坏他做什么。
He drank, ate meat. Whatever is bad, that's what he would do.
和现在这个有一般的美国青年人差不多，什么坏他做什么。
This, of course, is similar to a group of American youth. Whatever is bad, he would do it.
你要有一个坏名堂，他就要去干一下，要去做一做。
As long as there was a bad activity, he wanted to do it. He wanted to do it.
以后再 一种偶然的场合，就遇到这个道安法师在那讲经，偶然就是在他没有想去，但是就到那儿。
Later, by chance, he met Dharma Master Daoan lecturing Sutra. By chance means he wasn't planning on going, but got there.
听见道安法师在那儿讲经，他一听经，哦，这个是比什么都妙了。
He heard Dharma Master Daoan lecturing Sutra there. Once he heard the sutra, oh, it was more wonderful than anything else.
于是乎他就出家了，出家跟着道安法师修行呢，也是很聪明，聪明的很。
Thus, he left the home life. After he left the home life, he cultivated with Dharma Master Daoan. He was very smart, very smart.
也讲经说法，以后就很多人都跟着他学了。
He also lectured Sutra and spoke Dharma. He lectured Sutra and spoke Dharma. Later, lots of people followed him to study.
很多人跟着他学啊，在当时就有一些个比丘不守规矩，那么他知道了这其中。
Lots of people followed him to study. At that time, there was some bhikshu not following rules, and he found out.
有一个比丘就去喝酒，喝醉了回来呀，他就发酒疯，发酒疯呢就是很壮，醉回来就骂人。
One of the bhikshu went drinking. He came back drunk and crazy. He was roaring drunk, coming back and scolding people.
那么这样子呢，他就打这个法律法师，就打这个犯酒戒这个和尚一顿。
So, Dharma Master Fa Yu beat up the monk who broke the no drinking precept.
但是打完了，他没有赶他走，没有撵他走，没有撵他走啊。这时候有人就传到道安的那边去了。
After he beat him up, he didn't kick him out. And somebody told Daoan.
道安呢，就给他，寄了一个竹筒子，一个竹筒，用竹子做的一个竹筒，这个筒子里边呢，搞一个金子，寄了给这个法。
Daoan mailed him a bamboo tube. Inside the tube was a piece of gold.
法律法师，这法律法师打开这个一看，知道啊，这道安法师是要罚他。
He mailed it to Dharma Master Fa Yu. Dharma Master Fa Yu opened it and took a look. He immediately knew Dharma Master Daoan wanted to punish him.
于是乎就是民众打鼓的聚众，大家都招呼去到一起了。
So he rang the bells and hit the drums to gather the assembly. Everybody was gathered together.
他就告诉为老，说是 这是和尚啊，我现在真是有罪了，和尚离着我这么远。
He told the Ueno, "This is from the master. I have really created offenses now. Master is so far away from here."
那当时大约有700里路远。我做的事情不对呀，令和尚来忧心。我现在是有过了啊。
At that time, Master Daoan was a few hundred miles away. "I've done wrong and made Master worry. I am really at fault."
于是乎就跪到佛前，叫这个维诺拿起香板就打他三香板。
So he kneeled in front of the Buddha and told the Ueno to beat him up with a stick 3 times.
打3香板，然后啊，他就痛哭流涕的，这个法律法师，我
Beat him 3 times. Then he cried his eyes out. Dharma Master Fa Yu said,
真是一个不孝的徒弟喽，令这个师傅这么远，他来分。
"I am really an unworthy disciple. Master is so far away, yet I..."
Okay, let's discuss this and then move on. Is that okay? Okay, let's go back. Thank you. Oh, I don't even have to move. Okay, very good. So Master Shihao now is sharing with us a story of another monk, disciple of Master Tao An. So Master Tao An has had a disciple by the name. How come did you delete something?
Yeah, we discovered that during the lecture, one slide is missing. Someone is editing it. So after we got out of the slideshow mode, that missing page.
So anyway, so that he had a disciple by the name of Shakya Fa Yu. Fa is Dharma, Yu is to encounter. A person who encountered the Dharma as a monk's name. And this Fa Yu here, before he became a monk, he was a very happy person, you might say. Ate and drank to his heart's desire. And not only did he drank and ate meat, I don't know what's so bad about eating meat. I mean, it's just like so Chinese. So Master Shihua says he did a lot of bad things, whatever it means. Okay, and the Chinese people know what it means. We have our own standards of bad, so we're not going to compare. Okay, and Master Shihua says it's like similar to a group of American youth here. They love to do naughty things, bad things. There's no bad things that this group of youth here would hesitate to do. So by chance, this person here, this bad person here, encountered Master Tao An doing a lecture, and this is a great thing about lecturing sutras. It does wonders. Back then, a lot of people brought forth their mind for Bodhi, or the desire to become enlightened, from listening to Dharma talks and lectures from the left home people. So that's why left home people should take speaking Dharma, in particular, lecturing sutras, very, very seriously. And if you can't, support the ones who can. For example, many of you who are monks and nuns here, you are not preparing to lecture. When I first started and I was able to meditate on my own, I said, okay, in the future, as a monk, I need to lecture. So I started investigating sutras. So I prepared for years. Studied sutras for years. Copied Chinese textbooks, sutras and explanations in order to learn how these various sutras should be explained. Learn the wise words from the ancients and the wise. All right? So anyway, so very important for us, there is a very good point here. That is, we, since American Mahayana is at its infancy here in the world, we should learn. Many more of you should learn to speak Dharma. If you don't want to lecture in sutras, it's okay too, but you should also not hesitate to speak Dharma. And I'm letting you teach Chan and speak Dharma to people. That's your drills. And so please take it seriously. It's very important, because you see right here, time and time again, historically, a lot of people became Buddhists or became left home people through the Dharma talks or the sutra lectures. So Master Fa Yu is one such instance. So he wasn't going to sutra lectures was not one of his fun things to do in life, and yet he went to Master Tao An's sutra lecture, and clearly Master Tao An's had eloquence, and therefore he was very enamored with the Dharma, and Fa Yu became a monk because of that. And why? Because according to Master YongHua, Fa Yu listened to Master Tao An's sutra lecture, and he realized the Dharma is much more wonderful than anything else. And so he, just like that, cold turkey, he became a monk, left the home life. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? No, right? I mean, come on, from eating meat and drinking to not meat, no meat and no drinking. What is the connection? Yes, in the back, who used to be a left-home person too. And now he's reversing the trend. He used to be a left-home person, now he returned to lay life, enjoying life. So he speaks from experience. Yes, sir.
Master, I really like the slide 246. He said that this guy is no different from American youth, and whatever they bad they do, he would do it. Later on, he would change and become a left home. So it is to me in a way saying that the American has potential. So they listen to the sutra if they can become a left home and become enlightened like that.
I don't know. I think you're going too far. This is Chinese thing. It's not. It didn't happen in America yet. Okay. Anyone else? But that's a good point. Yes, sir. 3.
Thank you, Master. I'm so glad my Dharma brother brought up that slide. It particularly struck me. The great Master YongHua identified American youth with always wanting to do bad things. That's what he's saying, right?
Is that true? I struggle with that. I saw so many nice and wholesome American youths. Look at that. It's sort of unfair.
It seems like quite a generalization, you know,
Yeah.
kind of leaning towards badness.
No, he's actually addressing the youth that he met at the time. But, you know, in all fairness, this generation, the Gen Z here that people keep on talking about, as becoming a real force here, political force here, economic force very soon. To me, I'm very impressed with them. They're so balanced. It seems that they learn from our generations. They look at us and say, nah, loser. Nah, loser. I don't want to be like mommy. I mean, so they have the standards, you know, they're very demanding and they have ambitions as well. Okay, and it seems to me that Gen Z is so much more balanced than my generations, but they still suffer the same issue. No skills. Ill prepared for the real challenges of life. Okay, and I hope our American Mahayana is going to help, because it doesn't matter, you go to school and learn how to form your mind, to train your mind, but no one teaches you how to train your heart. That's the biggest problem. Okay? If you live your life with your mind only, you're going to be very unhappy, guaranteed. So what they did well, Gen Z is doing well, is that they look at us and they realize we're so unhappy. At the end of our lives, our hair becomes gray or have no more hair, and we realize we're so unpleasant, so unhappy, so sick. Yeah? And they say, I don't want to be like that. However, they don't know how to avoid being like that. Okay? So I hope you will have a lot more Gen Zs, practitioners of Chan, and then they themselves will be the living proofs that you need to take care of your heart. You cannot use your brains alone. That's not enough. Okay? Life is unbalanced. If you rely on your brains only and you neglect your good nature. Happiness is from your good nature, not from your brains. Brains is fun. Happiness is heart. And that Gen Z still doesn't get. Okay? It's okay. You can speak Dharma for them. Yes, sir. Number 6.
Thank you, Master. When I was in Colombia and I was in high school and college, I used to go out a lot. So I used to drink, I used to go dancing. And
No!
But when I got here,
You met your wife?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But my mind opened up, and I started seeing more temples, more cultures. So I understood that I didn't know any better. So that's why I was like that, and I got tired of that. So when I got here, it was just like my mind opened up to something that I was missing and something that I found.
You got tired of that? At what age were you?
21.
21, you got tired of having fun? That's abnormal. No. we cannot use him as an example. Yes, sir, 3. And Peter could tell you it took him a lot longer to wake up.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Master. Diego, my Dharma brother, I don't know how it is in Colombia, but here in America, when you turn 21, that's when you can first enter fun.
Yeah.
That's when the fun just starts.
Oh, yeah, especially in college and so forth. Yeah.
There's options in college to look like someone who's 21 and perhaps use their identification a little earlier, in terms of doing bad things. But 21's when you can officially start having all that fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then it stops at what age? How old were you when you realized of your wrong ways?
Well, I mean, college was a good 6 years of fun. So that was like,
So it took you 6 years to get a bachelor's degree?
Yeah. And then...
Wow, that was a lot of fun.
And then, I didn't want to stop having fun. Like, that was the point, right? You're having fun. And I would say it tapered off probably 31, 32. That's when it started tapering off.
And how old are you, 33?
Thank you, Master. I'm 45 now.
Oh, wow. So the awakening happened at what age?
Oh, wait, so I'm 44. Yeah, what year is it? Yeah.
Is it Korean age or?
Yeah. No, I mean, awakening didn't happen. But
I see.
Yeah, 31, 32 started to taper off.
You see, Colombia, it's more normal. 21 is when you're at your prime. Okay? Yeah. You figure out, how to go, how to take classes and where to go for fun. Yes, another person here, 9.
YouTube question and comment. Lalitha Ramkumar says, hi. Sorry if this question is trivial and off topic. Is leaving a bad review of a place of service, for instance, restaurant or tennis academy, on, say, Google or Yelp considered bad-mouthing, and hence not encouraged or prohibited according to Buddhism / its precepts?
No, I leave bad reviews too myself. It's okay. Yeah, the reviews are basically your personal experience. If you do that without harming mine, unlike I do, sometimes I go to a place where I'm so pissed off. I mean, you don't use that word online. Then I say, I'm going to leave a bad review to make them suffer. But the reviews are important because it helps us. For example, when I buy things on Amazon, which I do, I look at reviews. Okay, it helps. Okay. And so leaving reviews of places, restaurants like that, actually, I appreciate it. Okay, and so I disagree. It's not. It's a freedom of speech. You're entitled to express yourself. If they give you a platform to express yourself, by all means, you're free to do that. Don't feel guilty. Okay? Anyone else? We all have to earn our reviews, our place. And sometimes there's some people are nasty who leave bad reviews. That's part of life. That's part of the business. Nothing to worry about. Okay? It's one person's opinion. So what? All right. So I would not trust a place that have only 5 stars. Then something is wrong. So there's always detractors. Great Master YongHua, for example, he's such a great person, such a wise person, the wisest person I've ever met in person. Second wisest, never mind. And he had detractors. Many people criticized him. They were frightened of him. They were afraid of him stealing their disciples. And that's why a lot of them is not recorded, it's not documented, because many of these monks and nuns would prohibit their disciples from going to Master YongHua's temples. They basically said, if you leave and you go there, you cannot come back. Okay, and so they actually, it is a case right now. It's quite a common practice nowadays. You go to a Taiwanese temple, it's not uncommon for the master says, if you go to the other temples, don't bother coming back. I have a lot of disciples, I don't care. Okay, you don't deserve my teachings, whatever. So it's more like it's an act of betrayal or something. And I allow traders to go to other temples. I can think of a few. and it's sad that people can feel so insecure about it. Because the Dharma is for you to go learn anywhere you feel like. There's no need to worry about losing disciples. Anyway, yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I wanted to get back to your original question, though, because, seeing the story of, apologies, I don't see his name on screen right now, Master Fayu?
Fayu, yeah.
For him to go from being a typical American youth and doing all bad things to hearing the Dharma and saying, oh, it's the most wonderful thing, and leaving the home life, seems kind of consistent with Great Master YongHua's storytelling technique as I've been listening over the years. There just seems to be a bit of a gap at times where not all points in the story are necessarily told, but I wanted to ask, did he literally just say like, okay, that's it? Like, I'm switching? Or was there a transitional period?
Good point. I'm glad you brought it up. Let's go back to this point here. We're trying to discuss. Is it really sensible for him to go from doing whatever he wishes and then cold turkey, shave his head and say, this is it for me? Does it make sense to you? Is it possible? Can you think of a scenario why that would be possible? Or is it just like, nah, it's impossible? Anyone? Is it possible? Yes, 7.
Well, thank you, Master. It might be unsaid, but I imagine it's possible if he heard a word and his samadhi jumped and suddenly was in a different state. He appreciated what he experienced. I can imagine that being very motivational.
Possible? Okay. Anyone? Yes, Colombia. 6.
Thank you, Master. I think it's possible because the blessings took care of that.
Okay, it's possible. Anyone else? 5. Good perspectives. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. I must be a very unusual person to be able to make the leap, because they must have had blessings to help them. But I mean, I think ordinary people, maybe they wouldn't be able to do that.
I struggle with the concept like you enjoy drinking and then cold turkey, you stop drinking. Drinking is chemical dependencies, ma'am. Yes? It's very addictive. Smoking. Cigarettes, cigars, pipes. It's very addictive. And to be able to stop cold turkey, that to me is fascinating. How is it possible? You guys are leaving out the important details. The good wine, the good Cuban cigars. Yeah? How is it possible? Yes, sir, 3.
Thank you, Master. I mean, for me, fully transparently, as I've tried going vegetarian for days at a time, what keeps pulling me back is Chipotle.
Chipotle, yeah, I know what you mean. Del Taco used to be so good, and then, anyway, they don't have impossible. I mean, Beyond Meat tacos anymore. I'm so disappointed.
And it seems to me what Master Fa Yu did was he just went from drinking to beating.
Yeah.
He dropped drinking and took up beating, and now he just had a shaved head.
Yeah, it's weird to me. It's weird to me that you go from one extreme to the other. I see, for example, I go to Korea and I realize many Koreans love to drink because it's fun. Yeah, it's fun to them. And makes them forget about their families. Never mind. But can you imagine those people? I mean, I'm asking Koreans now, can you imagine you love to drink in Korea and then you say, I want to become a monk? No more soju? Huh? Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. I'm wondering, though, if there wasn't something compelling him to go to the lecture, because if he was truly attached to those things, he would have, or didn't have the blessings, he wouldn't have been able to be in the presence of that Master.
Yeah, by chance, of course, by chance means blessings. Correct. Absolutely. But it's still, what is the engine? What is the connection between that? Between enjoying himself and then stopping cold turkey. How is it possible? Yes, 9.
A YouTube comment from Empty Mirror. With traditions like Weiyang, it is possible to have sudden enlightenment. 6th Patriarch talks about the power of a single thought.
Okay, but he's not in Weiyang, and that's before Weiyang. Anyone else? Yes, Booz.
Master, as a nun, can I share my experience?
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Booz.
세라님 좀 통역 한번 부탁드릴게요. 오케이. 저희가 출가하기 전에는 저는 그렇게 지혜로운 사람도 아니었고 산매가 있던 사람도 아니었고 그렇게 좋은 사람은 아니었던 것 같습니다. 그래서 제가 출가한다고 했을 때 사람들이 정말 약간 반응들이 항상 그랬거든요. 근데 제가 그런 마음을 먹고서 출가하기까지 이렇게 시간이 많이 오래 걸리지 않았는데, 왜냐하면 정말 저의 그 고통을 벗어나고 싶었고 그 부처님 법이 저에게 그런 샘물이 될 수 있을 것 같다는 생각이 너무나 확실해서 제가 많이 집착하고 있었던 것들이 저를 더 이상 방해하지는 않을 수 있었습니다. 그래서 그 순간에 정말 그것을 끊고서 출가를 할 수 있었던 경험이 있습니다.
Master, before I leave home life, what happened was I didn't have any samadhi, I have no wisdom, I wasn't any special person. But when I really decide to leave home, it didn't take that long for me to just leave home. I just want to leave from all the sufferings. And I thought the Buddha's teaching will be the solution. So whatever that I was attached to, I was able to sever all those and just leave home.
Very good. You're running away. You ran away. This guy's different. This guy is he had fun. He didn't have to run away. No reason for him to run away. He's happy. He was happy. You cannot claim that like Saju, where she was unhappy, that enough is enough, I'm out of here. It makes sense to me, okay? But for him, it's the exact opposite. DTT first.
We cannot hear Master Z.
Master.
Okay. We can hear you now.
Yeah. Thank you, Master. I think one of the case of one of our patriarchs, who I don't remember the name, but he go hunting. He went hunting for a long time. When he met another patriarch and asked him a question, "Can you shoot yourself?" or something like that. So he got awakened and he left that his hunting habit and become a monk. So I think it's kind of similar in this case.
Possible. That's a good example. Yes, 6 in the back first.
Thank you, Master. I think the hint is on the slide because it was more wonderful than anything else.
Yeah.
It overpassed those other things.
Okay, 7.
Thank you, Master. Is it possible he had prior conditions with Da'an?
With on, yes, absolutely. Yes, 1.
Thank you, Master. I think Master Don and Master Puan both. Yeah. Before past life, they are the master and disciple. That's why.
Okay, great minds meet. Okay, yeah, same thing. Yes, in the back.
Master, I remember the story of the 3-cart monk. He loaded the cart with wives, meat, and girls, and he dragged it all the way to the temple. And then when he heard the bell hit, all of a sudden he remembered his past life, so he gave up everything and became a monk.
Okay, very good. That's a good example. JMT. Here's some Korean wisdom, more Korean wisdom.
Master, I guess he entered samadhi by listening to Master Dawan's lecture, and he made progress. So those sensual pleasures didn't appeal to him anymore.
Make progress, how boring. God. Is that all you guys can think of? Make progress? Seems like an obsession. Yes, 9.
YouTube comment from Sophia Gu. Master, I think he had faith and that's why he can stop suddenly.
Yeah, faith and stop suddenly. Okay. Possible. Yes. Anyone else?
She continued and said he developed faith that there is something higher that can give his life more purpose. That's why he can leave the home life.
Too much thinking. Yes, anyone else? I don't think this Fa Yu before was much of a thinker. Yes, 5.
Master, I read this one, but I don't know what's their motivation. But after Shakyamuni Buddha left his palace, became Buddha, enlightened one, there were more princes at the palace. And when they heard that Shakyamuni Buddha was enlightened, they actually dropped everything and left palace. They were living happily in palace, but they were able to leave everything and then join the Sangha.
Yeah. Okay. So they say, okay, my cousin or my relative seemed to be very successful and so forth. So they follow suit. Okay, that's reasonable. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. The closest thing from my experience that I have had happened to me. My Dharma sister Vicky, when I first came to Lu Mountain Temple, facilitated me getting to hold my hands over the whole body sharira. And in that moment, with my eyes closed, I felt filled with light. And I'd never experienced anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, of course, it didn't change anything right away. I took a few weeks to come back to temple. It wasn't right away, but it definitely facilitated a change.
So at the time when you had that experience, you felt like eating something right away.
Afterwards, I did go and get barbecue. I was so hungry.
How do I know that?
I went and there was a place on Valley. I went and I got grilled shrimp at a Korean barbecue. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was Korean. I only saw food. After that wonderful experience, I'm hungry. I said, wow, it's so cool. Yes, 9.
A YouTube comment from Dong Yuan. He might have Buddhism seeds planted from before.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, good answers. The common denominator is the roots, the good roots ripened. Okay? He had some blessings, he had some real great blessings. That's why he said, I want to do this. Okay? Because he had the blessings with not just anything, but with Master Tao An as well. It's Dharma. Okay? Specifically, not simply with Buddhism alone, it's Master Tao An's. Okay? So when Master Tao An spoke Dharma, I said, of course, this is what's been missing in my life. Okay? However, so first, the basis of this move, this event, this occurrence, is that he had blessings maturing. Blessing with Master Tao An maturing. Okay? So this is important. The reason the first point is important because this is why we need to continue to help people plant more blessings with us. You understand? And in the future, their good roots will mature. That's the process. You cannot expect people who have no blessings, and be able to take advantage of it cold turkey. That's not possible. That's impossible. Number 1. Point number 2. Even when the good roots mature, another factor is equally important, which is what? Five.
Maybe right condition.
Right condition. Okay? Okay, very good. Right condition. What condition? Okay, booze.
Good knowing advisor.
Good knowing advisor. No, he couldn't quite recognize Master Tao An at the time. He wouldn't look at him as a good knowing advisor. Okay, anyone else? You give up? So, number 1, great blessings. That's the base, that's the foundation. And the condition, the trigger is, what does he do the whole day? Eating, drinking, having fun. Yes? He's seeking fun. And he listens to the lecture and says, wow, this is so much fun. So it's right there. A comment made earlier is more wonderful than anything else. That's how Master YongHua explained it. He says, this is even more fun than drinking or eating meat or you name it. All the vices of life. Cultivation or the Dharma. Listening to Dharma is more wonderful than all those worldly things. So this is a guy who's seeking fun his entire life, unlike many of you who are so depressed, I feel so bad. Okay? No. This guy is that he wants to have fun and fun and fun. That's what drives him. And this Dharma here that Master Tao An talked about is so much fun to him. More fun than the sensual pleasures. His drive is to have fun. He found more fun. Is that clear? That's the condition. He found it to be more enjoyable than the other stuff. Okay? Yeah. So in spite of all, he coming the first time coming to the temple, listening to sutras, and people look at him and say, "Who are you? You should not be eating garlic, and you smell alcohol or tobacco." Okay? In spite of all the objections and disapproving looks from the other real Buddhist disciple, he said he had fun. Nothing bothers him. Okay? So this guy is a mode of seeking fun. And so with that mode, he became a monk to seek more fun. And he stayed as a monk because he found out life as a monk is more fun and more fun and more fun. Make sense? That's impossible nowadays, but it happened. Let's be real, okay? Probably once in a blue moon. Don't think it's going to happen to you. Forget it. So after he left the home life, he cultivated Master Tao An. See, Master Tao An is something else. Yes, JC.
안녕하세요. 제가 방금 그 마스터께서 법오스님이 법문을 듣고 즐거워했다는 이야기를 듣고 예전에 제가 20대 때 그 성당에 다니면서 그 수행을 했을 때 너무 즐거웠던 경험을 이야기하고 싶습니다. 그 수행하는 공동체에 들어가서 생활을 했는데 성당에 사는 주의 기도물을 거의 매일 큰 소리로 외웠고 1년 동안 목이 늘 쉬어 있었습니다. 같이 주기도문을 외울 때 그런 시간이 없었을 때는 차에 들어가서 큰 소리로 그 주기도문을 거의 1년을 큰 소리로 외워서 목이 1년 동안 쉬어 있었고 학교 다닐 때 공부하는 것보다 더 열심히 했고 제가 그때 그 기도하는 것을 즐거워하면서 했던 것을 했을 때 이렇게 공부를 했으면 제가 고시패스를 했겠다는 생각을 했을 정도로 재밌게 즐겁게 했던 기억이 있습니다.
Master, I want to share my experience. I just heard that Master Babu enjoyed the listening Dharma. So I want to share my experience. When I was in 20, I went to the Catholic church. And then at the time, I lived in the community, cultivating community, and we recite the prayer loudly. So for 1 year, I recited the prayer loudly. So I almost lost my voice for 1 year. I really cultivate heart, and then I really enjoy the time. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Continue.
That's it.
That's it?
Yes.
It seems like she talked a long time, and the translation has been condensed, or what? Okay, thank you for sharing your experience. Okay, very good. Allow me to continue here. I only have 10 more minutes. So Master Fa Yu, learned very fast, and he started lecturing and speaking the Dharma, and lots of people follow him to study. So you see, this guy is fun. It's very appealing. But there was a bhikshu not following the rules. He found out, so the bhikshu went drinking and came back drunk and crazy, and made a scene. So Master Fa Yu beat up the monk, and it was reported to Master his shifu, Master Tao An. Master Tao An then mailed him a bamboo tube. Inside there's a gold piece. And Fa Yu, okay. Now, there's one point here. Little things I want you, I know you will not notice. Master Hsuan says, Tao An 就给他寄了一个竹筒子. So, see, at that point in time, Master Hsuan said in Chinese, he said, Tao An. Okay, he doesn't say Dharma Master Tao An. He says Tao An, meaning that it's like a teacher calling his disciples Tao An. That is a proof that Master YongHua is higher level than Tao An. See that? You don't say YongHua, for example, you dare, I'm going to beat you up. Okay, so Master YongHua simply said Tao An mailed him. So he said, yeah, he mailed him. Okay, got that? See, so this is the proof here that Master YongHua has more wisdom than Master Tao An. Okay? I would never dare call him Master Tao An. I would call him Dharma Master Tao An. But Master YongHua says Tao An mailed him a bamboo tube. Now, I don't know what's the Chinese tradition. Why would Master Fa Yu received it and would immediately understood that Master Tao An was not happy with him? I don't get it. Chinese-speaking people, Asian people, help us out. Why? Huh? Anyone? While you're thinking about it, okay, I continue. Really? A gold piece? I'd be so happy. I mean, I would not look at it as a punishment. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I don't have any insight to the Chinese, obviously, but from a message and metaphor standpoint, my takeaway is when I was first seeing this, that Master Tao An is sending a message that you'll be punished, but there's a gold nugget in that punishment.
Yeah, to me, gold is like, to me, it's like a reward, hardly punishment. I can do a lot of things with a piece of gold.
Yeah, like you're going to take a beating, but there's some gold inside.
I would beat up more people. That's the punishment I'm going to get. Okay? So, unfortunately, we don't get to the end of it because then he convened everyone and says, this is another Buddhist tradition that I'm not sure we can still do. In the temples back then, there's no cell phones. So in order for them to convene everyone, they would hit the bells, ring the bells, the big bells, boom, and the big drum, boom, 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 like marching drums for the army. So they would hit those Dharma instruments. Then everyone knew that you were supposed to gather, congregate at the Buddha hall or whatever. Okay, that's the tradition. And here, if we do that, the neighbors probably call the police. Okay? When I first went to Lu Mountain Temple, I realized I was so happy because I saw a small bell there outside of the Buddha hall in front of the dining hall. I don't know you guys remember that. And traditionally, at lunchtime, we were supposed to hit it so that we tell all the beings from the 10 directions that food is being served, and they can come and get it. Okay? If you didn't, the abbot goes to hell. So we're so happy to find it. And then, you don't realize that, you don't appreciate the trials and tribulation has to go through. So when I had Wei Mountain Temple, no bell. So what to do? So I started looking for church bells. $2,000 for a small piece like this. Used. Because I don't want to go to the house. So anyway, so it's kind of a Buddhist tradition. Everyone gathered, and he in front of everyone said, I want to repent in front of all of you. I'm not going to hide. I screwed up, and my master punished me. He sent me a gold piece. Okay? And I made my master lose face. So he knelt in front of the Buddha and the Bodhisattva, so as the witnesses, and told the Weno, okay, to beat him up with a stick 3 times. Only 3 times? Oh well. And he cried. And Master says, Master Fa Yu says, I'm really an unworthy disciple. Master's so far away, and so forth. Okay? So, to be continued tomorrow. Sorry, this is all we got. Okay? It's so Chinese. I can't connect with the fact the guy going from a real playboy, outside, and then playboy inside, he's still seeking to have fun and fun and fun and fun, and then go to roughing up another monk, and then crying. That's extremes. Probably bipolar too. Okay, thank you everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow night.